share program. I'm glad, yes, now the real important stuff is coming now. So they're going to be, they anticipate the planning commission will consider these amendments during their meeting on October 23rd, and then followed by city council in November and December. If approved, the updates will go into effect January of 2024. The 2024 Lodgers Tax Arts and Culture Grant application is going to be open starting early November. Those applications are going to be due the end of January. We've awarded a little over $1 million in Lodgers Tax Arts and Culture funds through the first year and a half or so that we've been doing this. So that's exciting. City Council took a big step forward October 3rd on the 120 unit affordable housing rental project, residences at Durango. Unanimous approving a resolution that modified the finance structure. We have a groundbreaking event for this project on Friday, October 27th at 10 a.m. At the site location on Highway 160. It is an amazing project, and it's one of those great public-private partnerships that have come together to really do a big, we thought it was going to be like 45 units originally when we bought the Best Western Hotel, and now it's 120 units, and so it's a great project. Finally, for sustainability, our sustainability manager Marty Poole will be presenting this month's Green Business Roundtable, Wednesday, October 11th from 12 to 1. And it is hosted by the San Juan Citizens Alliance. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, we have Mayor Parkington. Is Ashley here? Up next, we have Mayor.
There I'll go. I'm not used to this time slot, so I'll try to. What a beautiful day. Hey, real quick, just on Ashley's behalf, we did have a groundbreaking last week for their new project. It was pretty well attended, and you probably saw it in the paper. So hats off to them for doing that. In Ignacio, yep, we will be starting our construction here at the end of this month on our Rock Creek project. I had a little slide, if you went to the Economic Summit, where it talked about our project is over 20 years old. They purchased that property in 2003. Didn't develop it in time, had to do some different things, but thinking about these type of projects taking as long as they do, 20 years is a pretty long time. Real quick, Taste of Christmas is coming up in Ignacio on December 1st. That's a Friday night. We bring Santa Claus in on a helicopter, it's kind of cool, and it's a light parade. So kids love it. You're welcome to come out. I kind of want to put a little bit of a note in your head. In the end of April, we're bringing in a Smithsonian exhibit. It's called Crossroads Main Street. I'd like maybe in the next meeting or two have Sharon come up and kind of give you guys a 5-minute on that, but put that out there. A Smithsonian exhibit in Ignacio, Colorado that's traveling the US. It's a pretty big deal. So put that out there. Can I have a public service announcement? Absolutely. One quick one. As you know, there's an election coming up next year, 2024. And I put my name in the hat for House District 59.
Oh,
so there you go. More on that later. Thanks.
Thanks.
Morning. Morning.
I'll give some program updates. The Catalyst Fund actually launched. It was kind of a quiet launch because it happened right during the summit. But we did do a webinar, I think 2 weeks ago. So that webinar is recorded. It's on our website. The webinar describes eligibility, application process, and what qualifies, what doesn't, as well as I think some historical on round one. So in round one, we wrote checks for just under $200,000 to four projects, I'm sorry. And so the application closes October 31st. And then we'll probably start running checks in November to the recipients. So second, speaking of the website, we launched a new website, also quiet launch because it happened during the summit. Not that we needed more things to do. But want to really thank Region 9 who helped us with the economic data page. So if you go to our website now, it's a lot more robust. We're sharing some data from Region 9 that is specific to Durango and Plata County. And there are a couple of charts that go down into Bayfield and such. So do give a look. It's yeslpc.com. The Opportunity Now grant, which was launched at the summit, we described what the Opportunity Now was. We called the entire summit Opportunity Now, which was great. Actually, the project that we have is Rural Upskill Network, R.U.N. for short. And so we're really excited. Rosalinda will be introduced today, but Rosalinda took the job to run point on that project and project manage it and program manage the entire project. So very excited about that. All of the presentations and extra resources that were announced at the summit will be on the website next week. So it's just taking us some time to collect the PowerPoint presentations, but also some of the resources that all the, not just the breakout sessions, but also the keynotes alluded to and gave Q codes to. So we'll have all that in downloadable form as well as Q codes to make things easy for everybody. So look for that next week. We'll have an entire summit website on the top line navigation. Speaking of summit, we got some great feedback and tons of lessons learned. I think we continue to refine it every single year, and hopefully you're seeing that the experience is getting better and better. Right now we're running into scalability issues, right? I mean, we had over 400 people there. We sold or had approximately 420 people register. So how do we manage that space and how do we manage the breakout sessions with that many people? And food, right? So one of the things that we got back on our surveys was we need to improve food. We hear that loud and clear. We hear it, we understand. We've had a debrief with the casino. They've also promised to make some technology investments that will happen by the end of this year. So hopefully that will help us as well in how we're stretching some of the things that we're trying to do. Some people said that they wanted more economic data. I mean, historically, the summit was an economic development summit, right? And all the content was economic development oriented. Post-COVID, we made a big shift and said, we're going to make it a leadership summit, bring in people that rally around leadership, human interest. And I think we need to maybe have a little bit of a blend. So we'll look for us to touch on economic development activity, maybe in the breakout session next year. And we might do a little bit more state of the state from the Alliance standpoint. So Steve, you're probably going to have to talk a little bit about economic development at the summit. Awesome. We also heard that the breakouts, we needed to, on a few of the breakouts, maybe elevate the content from a 101 to a 201, 301, 401. And that's fair. I understand that. It's, if we have some technical breakouts, how do we make sure that we don't talk over folks? But how do we make sure that we land and have the content specific to the folks that are there? So good feedback, and thank you again to all of the sponsors. Phenomenal support. We had 48 sponsors this year compared to 41 last year. Net Promoter Score was fantastic. We had a 71 in Net Promoter Score. For those of you, just a reminder of Net Promoter, the way it works, it's industry standard for customer satisfaction. On a scale of 1 to 10, would you recommend product, service, event to a colleague or friend? 1 being absolutely not, 10 being absolutely. And the way it works is that a 9 or a 10 is a promoter, a 7 or an 8 is passive, neutral, and a 1 through a 6 is a detractor. And so I could have 3 responses, 1 being a 6, 1 being an 8, 1 being a 9, and my score would be 0, right? So that's how it works. So we had 130 responses on the Net Promoter Score, and scored a 71. So anything over a 50 with these type of conferences considered excellent. So very happy about that. Thanks for the feedback. Going to some stats real quick. Some of this AMI charts came out. We have it on our website, but I wanted to, we talk about housing data all the time, and I show what the housing statistics are for La Plata, Durango, Bayfield. We'll show them in just a second. But to provide context, I wanted to really describe why that's important. So 100% AMI, which is a area median income, is for a family of four, is $103,900, right? So that's the average in La Plata County, by the way. For 140%, so almost right on the backs, it's 145,460. Okay, that's great. What does that mean? What it translates to is what's the affordability for a purchase price of a single family home. So the way they calculate affordability is 30% of the income can go to mortgage or insurance or whatever in terms of home ownership. So for 100% AMI, that translates to a home of $363,000. I don't know where those are. And for 140% AMI, so that's almost 1.5x. That translates to $553,000 for a single family home.
Do you know what the square footage is for the average?
No, but my guess is it's going to be under 2,000. Dan, do you have an idea? Average single family home square foot? 1900.
The price per square foot is $380.
Yeah. Yeah, good question.
That's all right. I was just curious.
What interest rate are they using there? Because that's a,
Great question. Fantastic question. So these just came out in July. We were using historical ones and they were based off of a 4.5% or 4.5% interest. This is closer to 7. And of course, today we're at 7.5, right? So it's already updated to a certain extent. But yeah, that's a great question, Ezra. Thank you. So Durango in town, this is September compared to 2022, so same time last year. And this is year to date through the end of September. So the median for September was 791, through the year is 790, and you can see the average sale price. Activity slowing down a little bit, inventory is creeping up, but price is holding. That's the takeaway. Very interesting in La Plata County, and I've been doing this for a little bit and have not seen the numbers match perfectly, whereas median was identical to Durango in La Plata County. But the average sale price in September exceeded Durango proper in the county this month. But you can see that activity year to date is slowing down in terms of sold listings considerably in the county, but prices is holding. Median price is almost up 10%. And then in Bayfield, through September, median is hovering right under $500,000, and really excited about projects that Bayfield's coming online with. Dan?
Single family home average square foot sold in town, 2,053 square feet. And that price per square foot is actually $453 a square foot for the year.
Yep. So yeah, that just adds some context to it. And a lot of people keep asking, hey, how come the Alliance is so heavily involved in housing? We cannot have economic development. We don't have a place for our workers to live, so it starts there. And we're continuing to work closely with our public partners, and I think there is light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know if there's such a thing as end of the tunnel, but there is light in what's happening. Eva has done a great job. The RHA has done a fantastic job. So keep looking out for all these projects and supporting them as much as you can. With that, I'll turn it back over to Steve. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steve, you have that.
You. Like that.
Thank you. I want to talk about everybody's favorite subject, health insurance. At the Levitt Group, we do employee benefits for employers throughout Southwest Colorado, but it is open enrollment now for several different groups, and I just really want to, if I get this thing to advance, just want to talk about individual plans for just a few minutes here in La Plata County. Real quickly, in the U.S., more than 50% of the population are covered under employer plans. slightly over 50%. Individual plans represent about 10% of the population. Here in La Plata County, it's more like 13 to 14% of individuals covered by various plans, which I'll talk about in just a moment. And then, of course, we have Medicare at 18% of the population, Medicaid a little over 18% of the population. But it is open enrollment for employers who have group plans that renew January 1. It's open enrollment for Medicare for those that are over 65 and want to look at Advantage plans. And it's open enrollment for individual plans. And that's what I want to spend a few minutes talking about. Here in La Plata County, we have, in 2023, we had 3 carriers only in the individual market. We had Blue Cross Blue Shield. They've been here over 50 years here in the county. Rocky Mountain Health Plans has been here over 30 years. And we had a health plan called Friday Health. Some of you might have been covered on an individual plan by Friday. Friday actually went out of business during the middle of the year. So those that were enrolled in Friday on an individual plan were allowed to jump into Rocky or Anthem for the remainder of the year. That's what 2023 looked like. 2024, we'll have Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield again. We'll have Rocky Mountain Health Plans, and then we'll have a new carrier called Elevate. It's actually Denver Health, and they've been around for many, many years. They're a nonprofit, and they've recently have chosen to expand to the Western Slope. So we will have one more choice for 2024 going forward in the individual market. What happened to Friday? Simply their premiums did not support the claims that they were paying out. So the insurance division, as of August 31st, said to Friday, hey, you need to shut it down. Anyone enrolled on Friday individually could move over to Anthem or Rocky Mountain, which is what most people did. As far as the individual plans for individuals and families, you still have the metals. You have the gold, the silver, the bronze. There's also a catastrophic plan, but that is primarily for those under 30. There is what's called now a Colorado option. The state got behind their own health plan, but they did allow the carriers like Anthem, Rocky, and Elevate to provide that plan. So we'll talk a little bit more about the Colorado option in the future, but it's a fairly new plan. And the main emphasis behind the Colorado option is to lower cost. We'll see that. We'll see if that happens or not. But every year it seems like rates continue to go up in the individual market. And of course, the family glitch. I want to talk just a little bit about that quickly. If you're covered under an employer plan, but you cannot afford to cover your spouse and your kids because the cost is so high, you can now go into these individual plans for your family members and get the tax credits. And the tax credits are huge because they help you be able to afford the individual plan much more effectively. So the family glitch has been fixed. Families now can go into individual plans and get tax credits. As far as getting the tax credits, there's only one place you can go to enroll in these 3 plans. And again, it's Blue Cross Blue Shield, Rocky, and Elevate. You can only go through Connect for Health. And Connect for Health has a calculator that will allow you to see what your actual individual premium will be based on 2 things. It's going to be based on your age, and it's going to be based on your household income. Also, when you go into Connect for Health, you can put in your zip code, and it'll bring up the local brokers here in La Plata County that can assist you with any questions you have on any of the 3 plans, and they can assist you with information on your tax credits. And basically all a tax credit is, it's an amount that the state pays for your premium in addition to what you pay at carriers. So let's say I'm with Anthem and it's a $500 a month premium. I'm getting a $400 credit because of my age and my income. I pay the $100 to Anthem every month, and Connect for Health through the state pays for the rest of the premium. So it's a great deal for low income earners. Obviously, if you're making 300 or 400,000 a year, you're not gonna get a tax credit. But many people making 200,000 if they've got a family, or 100,000 if they're single, can get tax credits to help them to be able to afford health insurance. I was talking to one individual the other day, he was 60 years old, he has no health insurance. He said, I used to work for the county, I had great coverage, but ever since I left the county, I've been going without health coverage. Well, by looking at his age and his income, he can get a Blue Cross Blue Shield individual plan for no cost at all because of the tax credits. So he had no idea. So that slide I showed you earlier, where we have 27 million people uninsured in our country, a lot of people, if they just knew how to go in and access plans, would not be uninsured. So our job obviously is to educate people, to let them know how to access the plan, how to get the tax credits if it's available to them, and then which plan to select. And again, you can only go in through Connect for Health to get the tax credits, but I would encourage you to have a broker help you with it, because as I said a minute ago, there's no cost for the brokers to help you assist in the plans. Again, it is open enrollment for these individual plans. You just can't enroll at any time. You can only enroll for a January 1 effective date. If you're currently enrolled in Connect for Health, you can make a selection to another health plan for January 1. But the deadline for that is December 15th for a January 1 effective date. And then, of course, there's also one more period of deadline of January 15th to enroll for February 1. The only exception would be, let's say I'm on an employer plan right now and I lose that coverage during the course of the year. That's a qualifying event to allow me to go into Connect for Health and look for individual plans that many times are much more affordable than COBRA, for instance. Individual plans are a lot less than small group health insurance rates because the state and the federal government have a reinsurance program for these three carriers that are representing coverage here locally. And by providing reinsurance to these carriers when they have a large claim, it does keep their rates about 25 to 30% lower than small group insurance rates. So again, it's working well for many. Obviously, not everyone gets a tax credit on these individual plans. They are going to add a new qualifying event in 2024 that if someone does not have health insurance, but they become pregnant, that will be a qualifying event to allow them to enroll in these individual plans. So again, it can be real confusing. I highly recommend you reach out to a broker that can walk you through the programs. And we are going to be doing a lunch and learn. Where's Doug? Doug's over there. Doug, you want to just stand up for a minute?
Thanks, Ken. We're going to do a lunch and learn. You can get more of Ken, go further in depth, ask your questions for an hour, and with Merida, with Jay Short on October 18th at noon at TBK Bank. You can register at local-first.org.
Okay, thanks. And again, there's several brokers in our area that do work with Connect for Health. Travis Bates, Travis is with Durango Insurance, right behind Brett. Doug mentioned Merida in Jay Short's office, but there are several other brokers. Again, when you go into Connect for Health, you put in the zip code, it'll bring up the local brokers. And if you recognize any of them, just click on them and they can work with you. And I would recommend you sit down face to face with them, have a conversation, because that works much more effectively than emailing back and forth. So again, I know it's a lot in a short period of time, but we just kind of want to give you a heads up that, again, it is open enrollment starting November 1st, which is right around the corner. So any other questions, you can just reach out to me at the Levitt Group. Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, next up, we have James Allred.
Good morning, everybody. My name is James Allred. I own Euless Restaurant. Today I'm wearing my bid hat. I'm the chairman of the bid board. This picture. So the bid is due to expire next November. It is funded through a small property tax, about 2.0 mils. So we're asking for the electors, business owners in the downtown area, property owners to continue to support the bid. Business Improvement District was formed in 1997, so 26 years it's been serving downtown in the North Main Business District. We do view ourselves as protectors of downtown and promoters of the North Main District. We do a lot of things for the community, including marketing programs and promotions designed to get customers into bid business communications for busy business owners with accurate, brief, and timely information. We do a lot of work for providing information for visitors and locals to help them find the products and services they need from bid businesses, including the downtown ambassadors. We do beautification programs to keep downtown and the North Main looking good. Also, capital projects that benefit all bid businesses, which would, of course, include, for example, we've sponsored multiple events, including the Colorado High School Mountain Bike Championships in 18, 19, and 21, the MX State Championships in 19 and 22, Animas City Night Bazaar. We do promote the San Juan Brew Fest and do the Downtown Balloon Glow, Downtown Children's Halloween, and Singing with Santa. We also provide the spring and winter holiday rewards programs that promote all of our businesses and provide a lot of money back into our community. You must forgive me, I have not done anything like this in a long time. So the Durango ambassadors, and every summer they interact with over 10,000 people plus, and providing directions to different activities, businesses, places to eat, places to stay. We print and distribute over 7,000 brochures with a business directory and map of downtown and North Main. And we maintain an online business directory on our website with a searchable database of all the businesses in the bid. We are a partner in the Durango Welcome Center at 8th and Main. We're believers in our advocacy for our businesses. So we monitor 10, 15 to 20 public meetings every month that have impacts on all of our businesses, provide communication with businesses about those meetings. We certainly support the continued exploration of downtown Next Steps projects. A lot of things there that need to be addressed, but we want to certainly keep a good eye on that and advocate for the right things to happen there. We definitely support a safe, not a grade crossing at Camino del Rio. It's a really important thing for the bid moving forward. And another advocacy efforts included work in the past to address panhandling concerns in downtown. We've also, along the way, upgrade all the streetlights in downtown with new LED bulbs in partnership with the city. And we helped build the Durango Welcome Center in 2012 in partnership with the city. Visit Durango and Fort Lewis. We did a lot of work during the pandemic, providing hand sanitizer, thermometers, face masks, etc., providing a lot of communication to the businesses about how to stay open and be safe. So I'm here to just ask for your support. If you are an elector and you receive a ballot, we certainly appreciate your support. I've been on the bid since 2017. Tim approached me. It's kind of my first foray into the community outside of my restaurant. So very, very interesting, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And I would very much like to see the bid continue for another 20 years. So I certainly ask for your support and helping to spread the word for all the good work that the bid does for our communities. Appreciate your time. Thanks for having us here today. Thank you very much.
Good question. Just for clarification, I think the only electors are people that either own property or have businesses within the downtown district. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So those people
They will receive a ballot. On the business owners, you should be receiving a form that would let you designate somebody that will vote for the bid. Property owners would receive ballots. Similar to the process of engagement with property owners and business owners, just to touch base with people, it's a pretty awesome organization and certainly appreciate everyone's support moving forward. Years.
Thanks, James.
Thank you very much.
Downtown and North Main.
Downtown.
Downtown in North Main, yes, excuse me, now, it was all the way up to North Main without a doubt. Very important.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we have Mario Martinez, new provost at the college.
I won't take up too much time, but I thought that it would be good to just review for you. I've been here about 6 months, and I just wanted to give you like a 3-minute perspective on a newcomer. I came from Southern California, and you know, what did I find interesting about Durango? And why is this? Have I discovered just a great place? And one of the things I think that was most striking to me is about 3 months ago, my 25-year-old son came by and he said, "Dad, you know what I noticed about Durango? Everything has Durango in front of it. Durango coffee, Durango Walmart, you know, Durango everything." And I said, "Well, I think that's because people are like proud of the town." And as I've been here about 6 months, I can like understand why, because the community is really engaged all the way from the college to community events. And I've done both. Been on Main Street a lot. I've gone to events. I'm obviously on campus a lot. And everywhere I go, there's just a ton of interest. And people are there. It's a vibrant city, along with, of course, the beauty. And so I really enjoyed being here. And, you know, I just wanted to share that with you. And it is a bit quirky in some instances as I walk around town and as I talk with people. But I think that just adds to sort of the personality of this region. And so as a relative newcomer, I'd like to think 6 months, you can't use that excuse anymore. But it really is interesting as I talk with people in the community and given my position at Fort Lewis College. Now, quickly, I'd just like to say a lot of people ask, like, what does a provost do? And essentially, a provost position is such that this person is in charge of all of academics at a college or a university. And that means that our programs necessarily and ideally interact with the work that you all do in terms of leadership in the community and in the region. And so we need to have connection with you in the ideal in order to have our programs serve the community and together face the challenges. And so really my purpose today was just to introduce myself, but also to share with you that as the Vice President of Academic Affairs and Provost, really my agenda really focuses on, in a big picture sense, of making the college part of community and community part of the college, and bringing those two together in ways that are only possible when we collaborate with you. And that's a very general statement, I know, but that's how you start, with some general vision of what you want to do. So I invite you, especially through Steve Elias, if you have ideas and you have ways and ideas of partnering with us, I hope that you'll communicate that either directly to me or through Steve, so that our academic programs can reflect the needs that you have as a community. One of the ways that we're trying to do that is through this idea, which is one of my actual 5 priorities for the year, is engaging with the workforce and a workforce strategy. And what I mean by that is that we realize that a college has to be part of the community in the sense that we not only serve students who come to us for degrees, but we have an obligation to serve all learners, including those who may not necessarily be interested in degree programs, but are interested in upskilling or interested in credentials that may help them in terms of their families, but also regional and community development. And that's important in terms of academic affairs, because one of the strategic focus areas at Fort Lewis College is, in fact, to strengthen regional and community partnerships. So this priority really fits well with this whole effort and the idea of us being part of community and community being part of us. Now, Steve mentioned a little bit, and Michael did as well, that we have participation. We are participating with the Alliance in Project R.U.N. And I wanted just to introduce Rosalinda and talk a little bit more about that. And right when I came, I lost most of my notes on introducing her, but I know Rosalinda well. She was actually an academic librarian at Fort Lewis College for over 10 years. A lot of her work actually focused around achieving equitable outcomes. She's worked on grants and has budget expertise. I think she has expertise in terms of bridging us with developing internal infrastructure within a sort of a new venture. And so she's perfect to help us at Fort Lewis College, A, develop our workforce strategy, but B, connect with community. And I think I'm gonna read this last bullet point to you because it's most compelling to me. Rosalinda came to Fort Lewis to make an impact on campus community and is very thrilled to have the opportunity to extend their work into Region 9 to help upskill our workforce and create better and more equitable economic outcomes for our region. So the tie is always serving underserved communities and having an eye on that. And that's very important to us at the college. So with that introduction, I'd just like to give the floor to Rosalinda to explain a little bit more about our Opportunity Now grant, that we're collaborative partners because the Alliance is running this grant, but we're in partnership with them. So Rosalinda, thank you.
Very hard to find.
There are very many pictures of me out there. So my name is Rosalinda, and I'm super excited to be the program manager for Project R.U.N. And that, again, as Mike mentioned, is our Rural Upskill Network. So this is based on a big grant we got through Colorado, the Opportunity Now grant. And what we're looking to do is to upskill our workers. How are we going to do that? We need to talk to you and figure out, you know best what skills that your workers need to get promotions. You know best what skills workers need to get entry-level employment. So we'd like to talk to you a little bit more about what those needs are. If any of you have heard of micro-credentials before, these are kind of short programs. Ours is going to be about 40 hours of content, of curriculum for our adult learners to go through. And micro-credentials already exist all over the place, right? You could Google them right now and you could actually get micro-credentials in something like Google Suite or in Microsoft or in other programs like that. What's unique about what we're trying to do is our micro-credentials will be created by industry for industry. Like I said, you know best what your workers need. And so we're really excited to partner both with employers in the region and also with our faculty experts providing a lot of curricular support to create up to 6 micro-certificates over the next 3 years, which is the length of our program. And so we'll be starting very soon what we call a design sprint. So it's an opportunity for all of us to get into a room if you're interested in kind of being one of those content experts on what you think your employees might need. Get into a room for a few hours, have a conversation, a facilitated conversation about what those needs might be, develop some curriculum, and then in the spring we'll be offering 2 micro-certificates. I think our focus for the first year is to kind of hit at some of those critical areas. One of which is leadership and management. We know you probably have employees that you want to promote, and they might just need a little bit of extra help, a little bit of skill development that you might not be able to provide in your own, through your own company, through your own organization. So we want to help you with that. These will be free. The grant will pay for your employees to participate in this. Now, what we'd like to do is kind of see a commitment from our community partners to kind of say, yes, we will allow our employees to take this micro-credential, and then we will, commit to, say, giving preferential interviewing for entry-level employees, or say, committing to promoting our employees within a year if they have one of these micro-credentials. So we're going to focus on leadership and development and management in the first year, and then we're also going to focus, because we know childcare is a really, really important issue in our community, to try to bring some sort of business skills to some of our childcare providers in the area as well. And we also know a lot of our childcare providers come from our more vulnerable communities of color. And so we're hopeful that we'll also be able to provide some of these micro-certificates in a language that best suits their needs. So English, Spanish, those kinds of things. If you have other ideas about the types of micro-credentials that you think that we should be offering in our community, would love to chat with you, grab a coffee. If you're a tea drinker, even better, that's what I like to do. I just don't need caffeine. It's just, I'm fine on my own. At 5 a.m. ready to go. But super excited to be working with all of you for the next few years and hopefully beyond. I think this is kind of one start to a workforce strategy for our community that we're hoping will kind of continue into the future. Do you want to add anything?
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Just so you know, the Alliance always finds a photo. Up next, the Jack,
Durango Jack.
Durango Jack.
Dr. Mullen, Commerce, couple quick announcements, because we're pushed for time. Right now, we're accepting nominations for Durango Rocks. That'll be on February 29th. Nominations are being accepted until October 31st. So I like to say it's all the of the year awards. Citizen business, small business, entrepreneur, nonprofit. You go to durangobusiness.org and it's right on the homepage. Also, congratulations, Waylon. What did you just were awarded something at the state level? What was it?
Yeah, from the Colorado Tourism Office, I was awarded the Rising Tourism Star for all my work in sustainability here in Durango.
Looking for Durango Rocks. So people that go above and beyond their normal daily activities. Real fast, exit issues is happening this Thursday. If you received your blue book, this is probably one of the most complicated ballot initiatives I have ever seen. We're going to have presentation from Senator Cleve Simpson, also from Terry Woodson, who is our county assessor. I've been working on finding somebody to speak in favor of with Xander Martin, who's with the Office of Economic Development, International Trade. As of last night, he has not told me who that's going to be. So stay tuned, sign up at durangobusiness.org, and you can come in and learn more about the Proposition HH. Again, it's one of the most complex measures put before voters. Recent elections proposing changes to property tax and local taxation policies, school finance for the next 10 years, and granting the legislature the ability to renew the package following the initial 10 years. Just from some of the notes that I've been following, Proposition HH reduces property tax rates while increasing taxes by allowing the state to retain more tax revenue. They'll retain Tabor money. And if you're a renter, I've heard you may not even get a Tabor refund. It's very, very, again, complicated with the different formulas. Look at Karen Chesser back there. Will this impact the school district?
Well, it may or may not.
See, it's complicated. I know the fire district has talked to, may impact them $300,000 to $500,000. So Proposition HH, you go to durangobusiness.org and register for our ancient issues, which is this Thursday from 8 to 10. That's my Reader's Digest version. Don't forget also Fort Lewis College, your homecoming is this weekend. We're having a chamber day for the football game. Also, if you attend the ancient issues, we have solar sunglasses. Those away too. So the solar eclipse is happening, I guess, Saturday at 10 in the morning.
Sure thing.
We have it all at the chamber.
Thank you, Jack. Excuse me. Up next, Kim Eisner from Community Foundation of Southwest Colorado.
Morning. A little bit like James, I don't do this very often. I'm a board member for the foundation, which marries philanthropy with our nonprofits. And we have 2 fundraisers a year, and our big one is Bodie Miller, who will be here next week. Just released a film on mental health challenges, issues. In fact, we're considered what's called a suicide belt, which is what National Geographic has called an area of small mountain towns in the Rocky Mountains. So big issue for people who basically work in the ski industry, which can move all the way into restaurants, any kind of service work. And so the film was just released in Park City a few days ago. We are really the first where the community that he's bringing the film to. And he will be here the 18th and the 19th, 18th in Durango, and also on the morning of the 19th at TPK Bank. And then the rest of the 19th, he will be in Pagosa. So we've had a really good buy-in from both communities, both we have panel discussions, and then we also have the big one, which is at the community concert hall. Film will be there and he will be presenting.
We're gonna try to play the trailer.
Okay, and we have a trailer, so that's the good part, okay? I'm going to pass out just a couple flyers if you're interested. Everything's on the website, so you can read quite a bit about it. and about what he's,
I think people move to mountain towns for the freedom, the adventure.
The most beautiful thing about this community is that it's for everybody.
Every mountain town you go to, you either have these super high highs or super low lows, and the whole town rides these waves.
Tourism is the lifeblood of our community because we work where people come to play. It's a party all the time.
The camaraderie we get through climbing mountains, paddling rivers.
There's a thrill to living on the edge, something that really makes you feel alive and feel like you're living every day to the most.
Oh my God!
There's a part of it that feels rebellious and a part of it that feels like you're going back to how we should live, spending more time with the land.
The only time I've ever felt true silence is at the top of the mountain.
I get to work with the best people in the most gorgeous place in the world. We love doing what we do. And I realized that you can be in the most beautiful place in the world and not be sure if you want to wake up the next morning.
The Mountain West is home to some of the most happy states in the country. Yet our suicide rates are sometimes double, triple, even quadruple the national average.
It is dark and sometimes invisible. This epidemic of suicide is a major public health concern and is among the
We have a true epidemic of serious mental health concerns in our young teens and early adults here.
My daughter, she had 6 classmates who had attempted suicide, and no one was talking about it.
Eagle County, Colorado is a microcosm for the United States. Mountain towns have challenges that are sort of amplified, but they are the challenges of our country.
I haven't brought this out in a while.
It's hard for us to ask for help.
Gotta do something. Can't keep losing our friends and our brothers and our mothers to suicide.
You know, we want to help. We want it to stop. So sorry.
I think some people may have moved here running from things that they weren't adequately coping with before they got here, thinking that this would somehow or another make all of that go away. And until you fundamentally address the problem, you can run, but you can't hide.
It's the one thing in life that we can all relate to. More than anything else in the world, we can all relate to struggle.
We're pretty fortunate in that the product is the mountain, but it's also the people. Without the people, there is no experience, there is no product.
We have an obligation to be part of solutions around mental health.
You guys know you get free therapy, right?
I cannot believe how fast this is going up. Together, my father and I are the lead funders on the Pre-Court Healing Center.
Every person has a common tie to behavioral health.
My great hope is that what we do here becomes in some ways a blueprint for what can be done more largely in the United States.
We have come together as a community to take steps in the right direction to tackle the issue of behavioral health. Together, we're creating profound change, and we're just getting started.
You might struggle with it your whole life, but there's hope for you.
We are not sold out and we would love to sell out. So, and I think everyone will benefit from hearing Bodie as well as seeing them. So again, see you at the community concert hall next Wednesday. Thanks.
Okay, Lauren here.
Be quick, because I see that it's 9:02, but I can't be that quick. I went mountain biking this weekend and I did the kids ride and they said it's so easy. They were like, no rocks. And I found a few quick announcements. My name's Lauren Baratich. I'm the CEO for Local First. Tomorrow night is our last members bash Business Alliance social hour for the year. It's a community gathering space for all of our localists and business owners and members, associates, and members curious in the community who want to find out how we can continue to work collaboratively and collectively together to build an independent business economy. Our theme is Noel Night, and as you know, that brings in more foot traffic than most events that we host all year long in Durango, and also it's a real economic boost. So if you are curious about the strategies in how to get involved and ways to build momentum around events that you're hosting, please join us tomorrow night at Jimmy's Music Supply. And that's at 5:30, 6:30 or 7. There's food and drinks. Okay, so there's that. The other thing I wanted to bring up is November 9th, we have our Be Local coupon book release. And that is at Ska Brewing Company. We're really excited about this year's book. The cover is gorgeous. And highlights a featured local artist and musician in town. That book is another way to bring foot traffic into your businesses and also tell your story. We're really excited about the stories we're telling this year, et cetera. So please come, you can buy your books in bulk. If you are in that coupon book, it benefits you to purchase that book and sell it in your place. It's also a wonderful way to thank employees. If you're a big employer and you want to say, here's the gift of local, this book is it. And then thirdly, again, Noel night. We sent out our first newsletter about it, but I think the next newsletter that's going out is only all things Noel night. It's a huge partnership. As you see in this room, there's a lot of energy and a lot of people that work together to make sure that these events are beneficial for the entire town, and Noel night is one of those. We have tons of partners. It's December 1st. We have 7 nonprofit special event permits so that we're offering. So we'll partner with you if you're a local business and need that permit. If you're hoping to have alcohol or do something different for special events. We also have online a form that you can fill out to highlight exactly what it is that you're doing specifically for your business. And then please just see Doug or I with any questions. Again, Doug, do you want to say anything else about our Lunch and Learn?
One last thing is you want to learn about individual coverage, health reimbursement arrangements. Those are ways that businesses can get their employees covered through individual policies that Ken was talking about. We'll talk about those next Wednesday at noon for the Lunch and Learn as well. So show up if you can.
That is a no miss. Doug works tirelessly for us, so we are forever grateful for Doug as our health advocate as well. So Stevie, if you have any questions.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Our next meeting is November 12th. Mike, anything? Waylon had something. Waylon?
Yeah, I have,
sorry.
2 quick things. First, it's Spooktober, events all month long. The important part is October 14th, Share the Love Cycle, where we partnered with Silver Stallion Bicycles and Coffee out of Gallup, New Mexico. We're bringing up students from the Navajo Nation. They partnered together with professional bike mechanics to fix up bikes. All the bikes fixed, then go back to the Navajo Nation for transportation. Good way to get kids educated on a trade. Also, if you have any, and keep stuff out of landfill. So if you have any old bikes you're not using and want to donate, and or bike parts, they'll use all that and gather it, and then anything that's not used at the end will then be shipped off to a recycling plant. Main reason I'm here is our round 2 of Destination Advancement Grant just opened up October 1st. It is open for any nonprofit or for-profit business that is located based out of Plata County. It's used for any sustainability goals that your company might have. Last one, we had some walk-in coolers with Lola's Place. They're refreshing that, so it's going to reduce the cost for all those minority-owned businesses because they split the cost. Anything that's diversity, equity, inclusion. So if you want to help your workforce on any of those initiatives as well, and or if you have some programs within the community, as well as workforce improvement. So if you have something to help your workforce or ideas, you can apply for that. And lastly, if you're thinking and an entrepreneur and want to start a new product that maybe serves visitors, so say an astrotourism type business, or maybe a business that will serve multiple businesses in La Plata County, like a reusable coffee company that would serve all those, that's what the grant is available for. It closes November 30th at 4 p.m. and the more information can be found on durango.org/partners.
So everybody knows I do have a 1-page handout on Connect for Health on the individual plans that I was talking about. So I'll have these in the back. Feel free to take one if you need individual or you know somebody that needs individual plans.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you, Mike. Yes, sir, Lions.